Why you have to choose a side when you can have both? And so then, why you have to choose to be a perfectionist, being frustrated, disappointed, or feeling stuck, when you can choose to be a perfectionist and a non-perfectionist? The Yin Yang Principle has a long history. I'm going to explain you and tell you everything about its origins, its history, its culture. I'm kidding. That's not the purpose of this video. I'm sure you can find all these details somewhere else here on YouTube. The purpose of this video is to understand how the Yin Yang Principle can help you overcome your endless love for perfection. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Nadio. I'm a mindset coach and I help creators shift their identity so they can stop self-sabotaging and start living in alignment with more confidence and freedom. Before to start this video, I have a confession to make. I used to be a perfectionist. Or should I say, I am still a perfectionist. And later on in this video, you'll understand why. But I learned to live with imperfections. All kinds of imperfections. Imperfections of life, of people, of things, and especially I learned to live with my imperfections, that among others were the ones who kept me stuck. Now, if you are new or not familiar with the concept of energy, mindset, spirituality, I ask you to watch this video with absolute open mind, with no bias or prejudice, and to be open to receive the information I'll tell you in this video, because some concept you'll hear might be different from what most people think and might be completely new to you. And you might resist or find those concepts difficult to accept at first. Then at the end of the video, you can take what's good for you and ignore what you think is not. Now, even if in Chinese mythology, Yin and Yang were born from chaos when the universe was first created, let's go in order. That is also part of the Yin and Yang. To better understand how the Yin Yang Principle can help you overcome perfectionism. The causes of perfectionism may vary from person to person, but the most common ones are fear of judgment, fear of failure, low self-esteem, seeking approval from other people, or thinking that nothing they do is worthwhile unless it's perfect. Now, the first thing to understand is, what is perfection? I'm not going to bore you by reading the billions of definitions that have been attributed to the word perfection, but I want you to think about the meaning you give to the word perfection. Probably you have to think about it for a while before to give an answer. That's because perfection is an abstract concept, like love, happiness, wealth, or health. And once, if ever, you'll find your definition of perfection, try to ask people around you what is their definition of perfection. Now, imagine if you ask that question to 100 or 1000 people. Every one of them will have a different version, or they'll give a different meaning to the word perfection. So the first thing to understand is that perfection is a perception. Something that is perfect for someone will not be perfect for someone else. And if you believe that every single person on this planet will love who you are or what you do, you'll be very disappointed and frustrated. And rest assured, even the most beautiful person or the most beautiful piece of art or the best singer in the world will not be liked by everyone. So if your perfectionism comes from fear of failure or fear of judgment, know that you don't need to be liked by everyone. But you have to express the true essence of who you are and do the things you do as best as you can. And you'll naturally attract the right people into your life, who will like you for who you are and what you do. It's a natural selection. Imagine if everyone would like the same things, the same food, the same people. Wouldn't it be boring? Your imperfections are the ones who makes you unique and perfect. And being a perfectionist myself, I know that this statement is hard to accept, especially when you are in that loop and all your thoughts are directed to being perfect or doing things perfectly. But I want you to stop for a second and reflect about what I'm about to ask you. Are you a perfectionist in every single thing that you do? Or are there some things where you are more malleable and it's still okay if it's not perfect? For example, you might be a perfectionist when it comes to your work, making a video or writing an email or something that you think is important for you. But are you really a perfectionist when you tie your shoes or when you throw your garbage into the trash bin or some other activities that you don't consider important into your life? Now, these might sound silly examples, I know that, but it's just to let you understand and let you become aware that the reality is that you label yourself as a perfectionist and you are conducting your life based on an identity you choose for yourself. Now, if being a perfectionist doesn't bother you, that's totally fine. But as long as you're watching this video, something tells me that you want to overcome being a perfectionist. And here comes the good news, and here is how the Yin Yang Principle can help us come out from the trap of perfectionism. The truth is that you are a perfectionist, and you are also a non-perfectionist. Confusing, right? But don't worry, I'm not out of my mind, but this is exactly what the Yin Yang Principle says. The principle of Yin Yang states that all things exist as inseparable and contradictory opposites, and it's also considered the duality of life. Some examples: take day and night, on and off, male and female, rich and poor, as above, so below. And the Yin Yang Principle is applied to everything. There can be a side without its opposite. And every side is not only connected to the other side, but is inseparable. Everything is dual. So this means that based on the Yin Yang Principle, if you are or you consider yourself a perfectionist, then you are also a non-perfectionist. And even if you still don't believe that, let me explain you why this is true. The only way our brain can understand things is to compare them to something else or their opposite. It's easier for the brain to understand what dark is compared to light. It's easier to understand old when it knows young. How could you understand on if you wouldn't have off? You wouldn't have any sort of comparison and it would be impossible to understand. Here comes the interesting part, that while everything has two poles, aspects or sides, is still two poles of the same thing. Take hot and cold, for example. Those are two poles of temperature. Or day and night are two poles of the same thing, our Earth or universe. And so being a perfectionist and a non-perfectionist are both two sides of you. You are not static. You are not one way or another. You are both. But it's your perception based on the experiences that you had that created a label for yourself, and so your identity. And during the course of your life, you have been reinforcing that identity, and now you recognize yourself with everything that is in alignment with your identity, considering wrong or bad everything else that isn't in alignment with that. That's not your fault though. It's the way all of us have been raised to believe. Society's beliefs became our beliefs. Society decided what is right and what is wrong, and we accepted those beliefs as true. It became our reality. And so we believe that if we are one way, we can be the other. That if something is right, another thing has to be necessarily wrong. And we tend to choose a side where to stand. In our culture, donating money is viewed as a good thing. But being rich is considered bad because money is evil. In our culture, being in nature is considered fun and it's the right thing to do, while being inside working is wrong. But what if you wouldn't have necessarily choose a side? What if you can donate money and be rich? Or becoming rich so you can donate more money? And what if you can work outside and make work becoming fun? Or making work becoming as fun as being in nature? Why you have to choose a side when you can have both? And so then, why you have to choose to be a perfectionist, being frustrated, disappointed, or feeling stuck, when you can choose to be a perfectionist and a non-perfectionist? Those are part of you anyway, but the sides that you cannot see or recognize in yourself are part of what psychiatrist and philosopher Carl Jung calls shadows. Shadows are part of your persona that you are unaware of, are parts of you that are still hidden in yourself and you haven't discovered yet. So you might want to learn more about yourself, and if you really want to overcome perfectionism, you have to change your beliefs and your identity. This means that you have to abandon a version of yourself that is no longer serving you and grow into a higher version of yourself. That's what our true nature and spirit is made for. Now, if you're not ready to do that, you'll remain stuck for a long time because you'll keep having the same thoughts that will produce the same actions or inactions in the case of perfectionism, and so the same results. But if you're ready to let go of the beliefs that are not serving you anymore, change your perception about things that are familiar and habitual for you now, but are not useful to you anymore and are letting you feeling stuck and demotivated. And if you are ready to shift your identity to a completely new version of you, I'll promise you that a new world will open up for you and you'll wonder how you could have lived in this way for so long. One thing is inevitable, and that's change. Now, you can let your external circumstances dictate your life, or you can consciously take control of your thoughts and create your reality. You are just one decision away from a completely different life. Ciao! Hey guys, my name is Nadio. I'm a mindset coach, and my mission is to inspire dreamers like you to shift your identity so you can live your life in alignment with more confidence and freedom. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like to watch more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and if you have any question, feel free to comment in the box down below. For daily content, or if you want to work personally one-on-one with me, feel free to connect with me on Instagram at Nadio08. Guys, thank you for watching, and always remember that you are one decision away from a completely different life. See you in the next video.